like today, right now, there's 338 people in Parliament, and all of them are content. There's how many? What's the I was saying on my show the other night. Like Pierre loves to talk about numbers. How much did you spend? How much? What's the number? How many people have died from unspecified causes in the last 5 years?
Geez.
How many? How many? How many? None of them care. They're all pro-war now. They're all pro-genocide now. They're all pro-censorship now. They're all like, no, none of you people have an excuse. Our citizens are dying because of your inaction every day. You are causing their deaths, and you have the power to say something anytime you want. You're a member of Parliament. You could stand out there in the press gallery and say, everybody come here, I have something to say. And none of them do it. They get paid. They're all millionaires, and none of them do it, so I have no time for any of them. But there were other people. There was people like Derek Sloan and Randy Hillier and other guys that tried to say, and they got punted and got booted. And, I respect them for that. That's okay. They're doing their best, and I don't expect them to win. I just expect them to try. And some very small amounts of people did try, not nearly enough. And then they would laugh at them. They would kick them out of. I remember they ridiculed poor Randy. He's like, why? When you go to buysell.ca, it's a government subcontracting website where you can bid on jobs for the federal government or fulfillment contracts or supply this, that, whatever. And one of them was for building internment camps across the country. And I went and looked at it, and it was there. It was a real contract, and he was like, "What is this?" And then they just laughed at him and kicked him out of the party. I'm like,
I think they're doing one in North Battleford, Saskatchewan. I think we're supposed to have one.
Portage la Prairie was going to get one. They nailed down a couple, but I don't think it ever, I don't know if the scandal, I don't know what happened there. But the fact that this even got tendered where someone was like, maybe we should build camps, and it got that far.
Ironically, it's easy to take the black pill, really easy to take the black pill because you can see how dark it is around you. But this whole thing served as a white pill because like you said, when the convoy happened, when all this happened and everyone had woken up and said enough, they had to back off. And so when I think of what's coming next, I think, okay, well, if we made them back off before, we can do it again. And that's the one thing that I hold on to because, it's everywhere you look, it's not nice things.
It's a black and white pill is what you want.
Yeah, that's right. The mix.
They think it's, it's a black pill. They give us this stuff. Like they think we're anarchists or this or like, I've never said anything like, I don't even think it's a black pill. It's just reality. And the reality is there's no political solution to this. You can't vote. There's no way you can vote this. This is decades and decades and decades of rotten corruption. You're talking stage 4 cancer at this point. And you're like, I'll just take some multivitamins. And you're not going to go check a box and everything's going to be fine. It's a systemic problem. It's the political class of people, the spirit and the kind of people that do this job are reprehensible and the absolute opposite of the kind of people that should be doing it. And they've already proven they can't do it. So you accept that and go, okay, well, then how do we fix that? How do we start pushing? Like that's the pill you take, not the, well, I want someone else to do it. I'm just going to check a box and keep watching the Leafs game. And that's lazy. That's lazy. And you see people, a lot of them, I'm going to name names. So I have been, but I mean, I don't care right now, but they're fleeing a lot of them go to the United States or they go to other southern countries where it's cheaper. And these are people that, spent the last 3 or 4 years grifting off of their fake patriotism. You're going to go down to the United States where, they have all these rights. You know why? Because they fought for them, and people in the United States, Americans died for that to be a thing that they have. We didn't earn that in Canada. And rather than you sit here and fight for our own freedom here, you'd rather go co-opt it from some other people who have already earned it themselves. Like you're just going to skip to the front of the line. And I'm sure you'll be really well received. Like, look, another Canadian who's too much of a chicken shit to fight for his own people. He's just going to come down here and live in Texas with me. And then probably fuck me up. You won't even stick up for your own people. How can I trust you? I would never trust someone like that. It got weird in my country, so I came here to live with you. I'm sure you won't sell me out then when the time comes. I don't even know you. I'm not even from your place. And you know what I mean? You're just basically an opportunist. So, and this isn't going anywhere. This is like you can go wherever you want, man. There's nowhere you can go in the world where this isn't going to come find you.
That's right.
So stand and fight, or don't, I guess, but you think you're going to run anywhere? All you're going to do is die tired, as they say, the sniper course.
Exactly.
You can run, you'll just die tired.
Yeah, and even if you do, like you said, like if you go to the most beautiful, safe, amazing, freedom-loving place in the world, well, it's going to be that way for 4 years until they put someone else in there. And even if they do have like a good leader or whatever, that's the tip of the iceberg, right? Like you said, it's the entire apparatus underneath is rotten to the core, and you can have like a nice little. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. It's like, do you really believe that guy? That's the whole problem. Is one person? There's just one guy at the top. Like, yeah, it's just the prime minister. So we live in a tyrannical dictatorship where he makes all the decisions and no one else has any input whatsoever. And if we just get rid of him,
Right.
no, there's a whole team. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these people, and their think tanks, and their donors, and their backers, and their brain trusts, and their influencers, and they're all. It's like a web of poison and cancer, and
Yeah.
you're just like, I'll just take a multivitamin, and no, it won't matter. It's not going to do anything, and I don't think there's time to get any kind of political effort together. You never win. Like the amount of the size of the Goliath of the mainstream media and brainwashing. I mean, we've been chipping away at it for years, but to overtake that level of messaging to get at the soft heads of the general public and tell them what's actually going on in a way that they can understand and sit and digest and compare the two. You're talking 20 years to make this happen. If you started today, we don't have time for that. We're not going to have a country in 5 years, never mind 20. We're being outnumbered every day. They're flooding millions of people into this country every year. There's less of us every year. And the people that you need to vote for, there's less of you every year. And the people that are going to be voting against you, there's exponentially more of them every year. So if you couldn't win in the last election, it's going to be even harder in the next one, and harder after that, and harder and harder. It's only going to get worse. You don't have time. We're going to end up like Europe. It's going to be a similar situation. Mostly everybody's disarmed. There's violent crime everywhere. The police are totally looking the other way and just worrying about people making mean Facebook posts while there's rapes and murders and crime and lawlessness and no-go zones and all that. The advantage we have though is time. We have the time to prepare for it. We can see it. We've got 5 years or 3 or 4 or 5 years before it gets to this level. It's not going to just take us by surprise. Like one minute you're, living in Germany, and all of a sudden it's like fucking New Year's Eve. We and the girlfriend went downtown, and there was 70 rapes and 2 killings and a car bombing. All that. Like we could see this coming a mile away, and it's like the weather. Like what are you going to challenge God? It is what it is. If it's going to rain, get a rain jacket. Act accordingly. This is coming. There's no way around it. We're broke. We have no money. There's no way the conservatives can fix it. We owe too much money. Are they going to disband the military and end all foreign aid and drastically cut, health care and to pay for this? No, they're not going to do that. So how are you going to pay for any of it? You can't. The debt will continue. The inflation continues. They have to print more taxes to service the debt. There's no plan to deal with any of this. It's just, fun little slogan. We're going to axe the tax. We're going to spike the hike.
Yeah.
You're not going to do anything, dude. You're going to build back better. You're rhyming now. Oh, you're going to do
That's what
some
you really
rhymes,
need.
dude.
Yeah.
I'll do some more
That's
rhymes.
how we say it.
Yeah, thanks, Dr. Seuss. I'm sure that'll really fill everyone's bellies here, and when it gets hungry. It's $2 a liter for gas. I remember saying this a couple years ago, and people were like, that'll never happen, bro. Like it's $1.85 outside right now. Probably by end of August, you'll see $2, middle of the summer, late summer, and the war hasn't even kicked off yet. If the Chinese get involved, and I'm sure they will eventually, this has never been a better opportunity for them than is coming up. I mean, you're talking crazy levels of like the standard of living is going to plummet to the floor, and there's no way for them to fix it. And they're just lying to people. Rather than telling them the truth, they're just lying, it benefits them, not us. It doesn't benefit the Canadian public to lie to them. It does benefit the political parties, though, so that they can get voted in and get their pools and their pensions and their $250,000 a year and all of this kind of. Meanwhile, we're like, okay, when are you going to? Oh yeah, we just made that up so we could. That's they know full well what we're heading into, but they're like, but I can save myself and my family if I get elected, and fuck these people, right? So yeah, I don't believe in that. I think that's atrocious, and I think people should start preparing for the inevitable. Because then, if you have the time, if the tide's coming in and you have enough time to fill the sandbags and stack them up, the tide may not wash you out. If you do nothing, it will. But if you work hard and you haul ass and you get as many guys as possible and you go right to the end, like white knuckle that right to the last second, and you might just make it, and that's good enough for me. That's all I've ever needed. Is like, do I got a chance? Good enough. Let's go. That's all I need. Don't tell me the odds. Like Han Solo. Never tell me the odds. Just is there a chance? Okay, go. Go for it, because that's life. That's how it's always been for our grandfathers and their grandfathers. Like there's no imagine the weakness. I'm sorry, I'm rambling here, but like the weakness of people now. Like, oh, bro, we can't. If we did that, the cops would probably come down. Oh, would the cops come down? Would they do this? Would they do that? Our families got on moldy, rickety boats that might sink, went across the Atlantic Ocean into the complete unknown with no food. Half of them died of scurvy and starvation, threw them overboard, landed in the forest, no infrastructure, nothing. There was nothing here when they landed here. The ship Hector, it was called, was where, my family came from Scotland. Nothing. They said, "Oh yeah, there's all farms." No, there wasn't anything, and they landed in like the fall. It's like it's gonna be winter soon, so you better hurry up. Oh, and the king needs his tithings. Like you got to start producing. So basically, they're indentured servants and just drop. And then the natives are killing them and all that stuff. Like they had to go through that, and you're like eating chips. Like police might call me racist if I did anything. Like, bro, it's like watching. Because I've done a lot of time fitness coaching and training and stuff in the military and outside, and it's you go through this yourself. I remember thinking, I know what hard work is. I've done 20 push-ups before. You know what I mean? It's like you have no idea. You have no idea what hard even is. So you've got these people like, oh man, it's too much work. Like you're capable of 10,000% more output than you're putting. You have no idea. Like you're able to do way more. Like there's so much gas in the tank. The Navy SEALs would say something like that. They say, when you think you're exhausted, like I'm totally finished, I am done. You've got 40% left. That's actually what's true. Like I can't go another step. Actually, you still got 40% in the tank. Actually, like mentally, and that is true. Like, you can push your body beyond exhaustion. You can push through anything, to the death if you have to. People have done it. They do it all the time, and I was fascinated. David Goggins is a guy that's what he lives for. He lives for that kind of stuff. Yeah. And it's no different, the mental suffering, the spiritual suffering, it's the same. If you can survive it, if you don't give up, if you keep going, you can win. It's when you pack it in and decide, I'm going to quit and sit on the couch and, that black pill, bro, there's nothing I can do. What do you guys even, the same people, what do you guys even do? Well, I don't have a beer gut, and I'm not sitting around whining for starters. I've done quite a bit in the last 5 to 6, 7 years, I think, to try to put my individual effort into, repairing and trying to plaster over some of the mess of this country. I'm trying. And I think if we all did that, it would fix itself quickly. But there's just not enough people trying, not enough people doing it, and they're afraid. And I don't blame them for that. I see that, but we can't let that dictate our destiny, because if you let fear decide what you're going to do and not do, then it's already over for you.
That's right. No, you were saying that before, how you could see it coming, you prepare for it, and you have a chance.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of Noah, the old Bible story there, where everyone was laughing at him and calling him crazy, thinking he was stupid, but then they all drowned. Yeah. And you spend the time building the boat.
Yeah. Yeah. You have time, so use it wisely. Could be worse. You could be in I don't know, France. No thanks.
Yeah, right.
Babies getting stabbed in strollers on the street. Like, just that's how bad it is there. Every day there's riots and burning, stabbings and killings, and it's just people getting yanked right out. Like, I saw one video, there was a woman just holding the door open, looking outside, see what was going on. This guy, African guy, just walked up, tried to haul her right out of a little girl, right. Like a 12-year-old, and then the mom had to try to just like that. It could have been the end of her life, just because she was curious and opened the door to see what was going on. That's how dangerous it is. That'll be Toronto, if it isn't already. Some parts of it. I know some women, especially, that are living there, and they're like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Like, it's very scary. And we're gonna axe the tax. Not even the guys. They're not even living in reality. They don't care. They don't care about us at all. They're willing to let our people, our women and children, be subjected to violence and fear and live in stressful conditions, not have enough to eat or know where they're gonna live. But me, though, the politicians, but me, it makes my blood boil. I hate them so much when they say, oh, you guys are full of hate. The only people I really pretty much I'm the most likely to hate without knowing anything about them, just based on, their outward, is that they're a politician. 95% chance I hate your guts, unless they're like one of these rare kind that's, a human being that's trying to do this impossible thing, then okay. But generally it attracts psychopaths. It attracts narcissists. It attracts people that like to gaslight, manipulate, and get things and they want the money, the gravitas, the power, the influence. That's what they see. They don't see that job and go, man, that's a lot of responsibility. Holy crap, that would be a lot. That'd be heavy to all these people are counting on me to stick up for them and deal. Oh man, I hope I don't make a mistake and people get hurt because of me or so. Oof, that's right. No, they don't even. That doesn't even enter their head. Car, bigger house. How much is the pension and how many years do I have? That's all that's in there, and it's disgusting.
You mentioned